Mr. President, I am proud that the Senate voted to reject an effort to overturn common sense protections to reduce methane waste. It was 3 years ago that satellite images from NASA revealed that there was a giant cloud of methane, about the size of the state of Delaware, sitting over the Four Corners region in northwestern New Mexico and southwestern Colorado. Although evidence had shown that there was methane air pollution in the Four Corners as early as 2003, the image of the NASA data is truly striking. This is a warning of a potential major threat to public health for communities in the region. Now, the San Juan Basin in the Four Corners region has long been a leading producer of oil and natural gas. And with the natural gas boom in the mid-2000s, production in the basin grew by leaps and bounds. And that created hundreds of new high-paying jobs and a major new domestic source of an important energy resource. But unfortunately, amid all this growth, some producers developing natural gas on our public lands and on tribal lands released harmful air pollution and wasted these publicly owned resources by allowing methane to leak into the air from faulty equipment and pipes, and even by burning off valuable natural gas in the process called flaring. Following the discovery of the methane hotspot, NASA researchers at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory joined Caltech and the University of Michigan scientists to conduct a detailed study into the cause of the methane cloud. Some producers claimed that the hotspot was caused primarily by natural seeps of gas from underground geologic formations and by gas venting out from an old coal mine in the region. But the NASA researchers, using instrumentation mounted on aircraft that flew close to the ground and throughout 1,200 square miles of airspace in the Four Corners region, identified leaks from natural gas wells as the major methane emitters, contributing to the methane air pollution. As a greenhouse gas, methane has over 80 times the global warming potential as carbon dioxide over the short term. We have a moral obligation to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and to mitigate our contributions to climate change. But even absent its consequences for climate change, methane leaks waste valuable energy resources, and they harm public health. When methane leaks from oil and gas wells, harmful carcinogens like benzene leak into the air alongside it. Because of the air pollution over the Four Corners region, the American Lung Association gave San Juan County in New Mexico an F rating for ozone pollution in 2016. That means children suffer more asthma attacks, seniors have more difficulty breathing. But I want it to be clear that this is not an issue, a case of pitting development of our energy resources against human health. We have a golden opportunity here to apply innovative, existing technologies to this problem, to grow our economy and improve air quality for the people of the Four Corners region. That's because minimizing the amount of methane that leaks, vents, or flares out of the oil and gas wells isn't just good for air quality, it's good for business and the bottom line. When oil and gas companies modernize their equipment to reduce leaks, they're able to capture more gas that they can sell, as well as increase worker safety at their wells. When we capture more gas, that also means that we see more royalties and revenues for states, tribes, and local communities. By updating oil and natural gas production equipment and infrastructure to reduce wasted natural gas, we create new jobs for energy workers and manufacturers. And when we reduce wasteful leaks, that means that instead of having a giant methane cloud over the northwest corner of New Mexico and over the Navajo Nation, a major public health hazard, instead of that, we put our publicly owned natural gas resources to beneficial use. That's the definition of a win-win situation. I say all this because that is exactly what the Bureau of Land Management's methane waste prevention rule is designed to do. This common sense and cost-effective protection in the rule is put in place to reduce harmful methane and benzene pollution and to ensure that oil and gas operations are using technological advances that minimize emissions and maximize the amount of natural gas that we produce. Between 2009 and 2015, the BLM estimates that oil and gas producers on our public and tribal lands vented, flared, and leaked 462 billion cubic feet of methane. They wasted enough natural gas to supply over 6 million American households for a year, Mr. President. Instead of heating our homes or fueling power plants, powering buses, that gas was leaked into the atmosphere, wasting millions of dollars of this limited resource. It's estimated that the oil and gas industry wastes about $100 million worth of natural gas every year. That also means $6 million each year of lost state revenue, revenue that pays for schools, for roads, and for emergency services in New Mexico. That is quite a figure. A recent report found that New Mexico taxpayers have lost out on over $42 million of royalty since the year 2009. $42,728,949 to be exact. The BLM's methane waste prevention rule will help put a stop to this wasted resource. While developing the rule, the BLM held public meetings, held tribal consultations, and it factored in feedback from over 300,000 comments submitted during the public comment period. The agency also coordinated with states like Colorado, Wyoming, and North Dakota that have already created similar protections to reduce methane leaking and flaring at the state level. The BLM rule will have minimal costs for oil and gas producers, and in fact, leak detections and repairs required by the rule will help companies make more money selling the gas that they save. Meanwhile, this rule will grow our economy by investing in innovative companies that have developed the technologies to minimize leaks and protect our public health. This rule should not have been controversial. The overwhelming majority of my constituents in New Mexico support reducing wasted natural gas. A recent poll by Colorado College conducted after the election found that 74% of New Mexicans support the BLM's methane waste reduction rule. I'm proud that enough senators shared that view and voted to reject an attempt to repeal this common sense protection of public health, air quality, and responsible development of our natural resources. There is nothing conservative about making it easier to waste a precious public energy source. We should be focused on reducing waste, capturing critical royalties for New Mexico communities, and putting our natural gas resources to beneficial use. This repeal effort of the methane rule would have represented a major step backwards. Today's vote was a major victory for responsible development of our natural gas resources and our nation's decades-long commitment to protect the air we breathe. I want to say a special thank you to all 51 senators who supported our efforts today on behalf of my constituents and theirs. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and I would yield back the balance of my time and note the absence of quorum.